I'm Shakira and I did my advocacy presentation on foster care youth. Foster care is a temporary service provided by state for children ages up to 18 that cannot live with their families. Youth in foster care may live with relatives or unrelated foster parents. Foster care can also refer to placement settings such as group homes, residential care facilities, emergency shelters, and supervised independent living. The goal of foster care is to find a permanent home for a child, either through unification with their birth families, legal guardianship, adoption, or OPPLA, which is when all other options are ruled out and youth stays in the child welfare agency custody until adulthood. Foster care youth. There's nearly 500,000 children in foster care. Many of these children have prior histories of maltreatment, such as abuse and neglect, with neglect being the most common form of maltreatment and the reason for many children requiring foster care services. Most children in foster homes, if not all, experience feelings of confusion, fear, loss, sadness, anxiety, and stress. Such feelings and experiences must be addressed and treated early to prevent or decrease poor developmental and mental health outcomes that ultimately affect the child's educational experience and the quality of adulthood. Maltreatment, such as neglect and removal from parents, are traumatic events that can affect the immediate and future developmental and mental health of children. Because of their history, children in foster care are more likely than other children to exhibit high levels of behavioral and emotional problems. One study found that almost 60% of young children ages 2 months to 2 years in foster care were at a high risk of developmental delay or neurological impairment. Youth who age out of foster care may experience challenges to making successful transitions to adulthood. According to the only national study of youth aging out of foster care, 38% had emotional problems, 50% had used illegal drugs, and 25% were involved with the legal system. As adults, children who spend long periods of time in multiple foster care homes were more than likely than other children to encounter problems such as unemployment, homelessness, incarceration, as well as experience early pregnancy. Evidence based practice. There have been few discussions about the systematic implementation of evidence based practice to address different levels of need in risk in foster care. The framework for determining the types of program needed for children may vary. In order to determine these things, there are a few things that should be considered. Screening and identifying those who are functioning adequately in foster care versus those in need of supplemental service. Provide enhanced foster care with additional resources for families and children, implement interventions that target specific problems such as disruptive behavior or school functioning, and implement intensive therapeutic foster care programming. The evidence based practice that I chose was the structured decision making. Structured decision making is a process created by the Children's Research Center to provide child welfare workers with the best tools possible to help in making critical case assessments and decisions. It was initially used to help assess whether to leave an abused or neglected child in the home while services to reduce the risk of harm are implemented. SDM for foster care was initially piloted in nine Michigan counties. A 12-month follow-up evaluation revealed structured decision making resulted in 27% fewer new abuse neglect referrals, 54% fewer new allegations, 40% fewer children removed to foster care, and 42% fewer child injuries that require medical assistance. The community resources. Harris Home for Children. The Harris Home for Children is licensed by the Alabama Department of Human Resources as a foster care and child placement agency. The Harris Home for Children is a nonprofit agency that provides a wide array of programs and services for the abused, neglected, and abandoned youth between ages of 12 and 21. They offer four residential programs. The first one is crisis interventions, which is short term, up to 60 days. Room and board is provided in a structured, safe, and nurturing environment. The program promotes education, social growth, counseling, recreation, living skills, and positive behavior. The next is a residential care, which is full time and is in a home like setting. Mild emotional and behavior issues are addressed. The program promotes self discipline and accountability. The next is the transitional living, which is for young adults 16 to 20. It's in a family like environment, full time supervised by a house parent. It has emphasis placed on preparing for independence and self sufficiency. And their last residential program is the Independent Living Program, which is for ages 18 and up. These, these children reside in apartments housed by the Harris Home. They provide training and supervision to help make the transition into adulthood successful. Their support program include an after-school program and a behavioral aid program. The after-school program services are provided for at-risk children from middle school through high school who live in the Harris home or in DHR supervised homes. This program is designed to promote personal development while enabling the child to enhance academic and interpersonal skills. In collaboration with the Department of Human Resources, children of various ages who live in foster homes or DHR supervised homes and families are monitored through their behavioral aid program. Services provided by the agency include transportation in county and out of county to appointments, supervised visits between biological parents and siblings or extended family members, sitter services, parenting, crisis intervention, and tutor services. The next is the Sequel of Youth and Family Services. Sequel and Family Services is located in Owens Crossroads. It was established in 1966 as a residential treatment facility serving females in need of a locked, secured environment and in need of intensive residential treatment services. The program has 30 beds licensed by the Alabama Department of Mental Health, with 10 contracted by Alabama Department of Human Resources as intensive care beds. The treatment staff provides comprehensive, challenging, and therapeutic services for adolescent females ages 12 to 18. The program uses a cognitive behavioral approach to focus on behaviors and provides rehabilitation services, including individual, group, and family therapy, psychoeducational groups, basic living skill groups, medication monitoring, psychiatric and medical care, and peer group dynamics therapy. The advocacy plan. Some things you should know before advocacy plan. All youth need opportunities to take reasonable risks, meet new friends, make decisions on their own, and learn from their mistakes. Most foster care youth are never told that they have legal rights. The advocacy plan I have in place for social workers. Work with your state to help youth be involved in discussions and development of their rights. Engage state-based organized foster youth groups in helping determine where information on rights will be provided. Encourage your child welfare agency to post rights where they're easily accessible to the foster youth in their foster homes. Work with the state child welfare agencies to ensure that when youth in foster systems are transferred to other placements, they are given a receipt that explains what is happening and the differences in rights in the new placement. Help your state recognize that what's normal for one group may not be normal for another. Advocacy plan for foster parents. Working with your state agencies to mandate funds for activities and transportation for young people to facilitate their participation. Work with your state child welfare agency to encourage intensive and ongoing community education for youth, providers, courts, and foster parents, and related laws and policies. Encourage your state child welfare agency to provide each child or youth with a list of activities and outlets to pick and choose from and to discover. And that is the end of my presentation. Here's my references. Thank you guys for looking at my presentation. Leave comments. Thank you.